found myself. Hi everybody, and welcome to our Saturday afternoon extravaganza. It's not really, it's just me and some paper as per norm. But you're all very welcome, and it's nice to see that some of you are actually here already. Lynn, Roz and Jen, morning girls, nice to have you with me. I wonder if we'll have our chap today, Jen. It's funny when I look at my analytics for who's watching and where they're from, etc., and the gender bit is quite interesting because it's literally all women apart from this sliver underneath that says male, and I'm thinking that is
me and Mike.
Yeah, you and Mike, that's it. So anyway, that's got nothing to do with anything. Hi Jean, hi Helen, hi Hilda, hi Mike, nice to have you with us. Mr. Fix It doesn't feel quite so lonely when you join us. Right, so the thing is, this week I have been looking at Christmas. It's got to be said, I've got to say it. I've been looking at Christmas and I've been sorting out all the things in my stash that is Christmas stuff, and we've got a lot. So watch out, because there'll be some racks coming your way, people. There's Mike, yeah, there he is. And everybody else, I think I've said good morning to, good afternoon. Hi Jan, you've just popped on. So we're going to carry on with this, but we're going to carry on kind of a pace. Not today, I don't do things apace, really. Not, I plod. But somehow or other, videos, lives, whatever it is, we will get this writing pouch finished. They're really, really pretty things. I like them a lot. And I'd like for you to be able to know how to make them, because I think they make smashing Christmas presents. I really do. So, before I carry on, though, there are some things I do need to say. And I'll save that one for a little while. Kerry Roberts has been being naughty again. And she has sent me, via my Amazon wish list, this Distress Ink in Bundled Sage, which, I'm so glad to have this. I adore this colour. I love greens. And she sent me this little die, which I found on Amazon, and it was relatively inexpensive compared to Sizzix, etc. And it's all sort of joined together, so it makes it easy to cut. But it's sort of three flowers. They're the same, but small, different sizes. So I think that I should be able to cut those out and sort of place them on top of each other to get a 3D effect. Haven't had time to do that yet, but I'm looking forward to trying. And it's got a couple of leaves and a bigger leaf there, and then some flower centres. So I'm dying to have a go at that. That looks really, really good fun. So Kerry, thank you very much. Kerry Roberts, yes you, thank you very much indeed. And this morning the postman came and brought me a pack of loveliness from Mabel. Just loveliness. And if I can just get it out from here, and this as well. The first thing to say is that she sent me these envelopes, and I am so glad to have them. They're a really good size. They're bigger than C6. They're a really good size to use. And there's some white ones, some light blue ones, some pink ones, some buff ones, and a couple of lilac. They're really, really useful, and they've found a very good home with me, Mabel. Thank you very, very much indeed for those. But alongside those in the package was this artist's brush roll. And look at it, it's so lovely. I'm dying to know if she made this design herself. I think she probably did. It looks so unique, so individual, and there's all the spaces there to put your artist's brushes. And I'm sure it works perfectly well. I haven't tried it yet. Let's give it a go. Oh, look, it's just lovely. It's really, really nice. And as some of you that have been with me quite a long time will know, I don't now because I just don't have time. But, you know, historically I have done quite a lot of painting, both acrylics and watercolours. I haven't got round to oils yet, although I must say they're calling me. So thank you for that, Mabel. It's really thoughtful, very, very thoughtful. And this pouch, look at this. Let's just look at it first. It's got this lovely sort of squared off end, and then it's just a beautiful, pleasing shape. And she's quilted it herself. She put this zip in, and it's so perfectly put in. Little beads on the end of the zip, and you open it up, and it's got a little pocket here inside. It's gorgeous. This, to me, looks like it's avocado dyed fabric. I may be wrong, but that's what it looks like. And it's adorable, totally adorable. So thank you very, very much for that, Mabel. But that's not where it stops, because she has been extremely kind to me. And she sent me these, which are, I'll show you them first. Look at them, there's loads of them. And what they are is, she's done the pattern on her embroidery machine, and this gigantic fella here, he's probably never, ever, ever going to get used because I love him so much. I need to keep him with me. No, it's the other way around, that's it. She's embroidered them onto soluble stabilizer, soluble fabric. And then some of them you just put into warm water and it dissolves. Some are cold water dissolve. And then you're left with just the lace. And look at these. They're just gorgeous, Mabel. I really, really love them. And I appreciate the time that you've put into them. I really do. I probably appreciate them more than anybody, actually, because I do, or historically I have done, got most of these the wrong way up, sorry Mabel. Historically I have done quite a bit of this myself, and so I know that it's time consuming. That's it, the right way around. Aren't they beautiful? They really are. Thank you so much, Mabel. Thanks for the time and the care that you put into this. And as I say, I really do appreciate them. I know how much work is in each one, and they've found a really, really good home with me. They really have. Whether or not they make it into a journal, whoever knows, I don't know. But even if they don't, I will take them out and look at them, which is, after all, what we do with our stash.
Jean suggested the scissors for your pouch.
Yes.
Hilda says it's for your cutter.
Ah, excellent.
It's for keeping your rotary cutter in.
Let's just put that to the test. Okay, I'm just going to lock that because I don't want to tear the fabric. You think it goes in that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, it's perfect. It's just perfect. Oh, thank you, dear Mabel. That's so lovely of you. Oh, look at that. That's just the job. Just the job. So, I can only thank you for that, Mabel. It's truly a joy. An absolute joy. Everything that you sent me has been very, very well received. So let's pop those to one side. And that's Kerry and Miranda. Well, Miranda. Did you see what Miranda sent me yesterday? Devon Heaven it's called, and it was 4 scones, as I use the past tense because they're now long gone. 4 scones, a pack of cream, clotted cream, a really big pack as well, and a jar of strawberry jam. And that's your fault, Lynn Whitman, because a couple of weeks ago you said that you would, you just fancied a berry a berry scone, I think was the way you said it. And I couldn't get it out of my mind. You know, sometimes when people say things and you think, yeah, I just want that. And it kept coming back. It kept recurring. So Miranda has slaked my appetite for that. They were beautiful, Miranda. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm so grateful to you. I really am. Honestly, it was... I couldn't believe it when I opened it. I had to take a photograph instantly. But that wasn't the only thing Miranda sent me this week. And this is what really kind of got me onto thinking about Christmas. She sent me this ephemera collection book. And it's absolutely, it's fabulous. It's just great. These are all Christmassy sort of words and words that surround Christmas. You know, Christianity, Christmastide, Christmas era, Christmas, you know, loads, all Christmassy ones. And then we've got all this ephemera that you can cut out and use. I mean, beautiful images. Look at these tags already made, ready to go, look. So that kind of got us thinking about Christmas. There's beautiful ephemera in here. Really lovely. Well, actually it was these numbers in particular that grabbed me. More on that once we get the projects finished that we're doing at the moment. Look at all these tags, already ready to go. And even the back is made to look like coffee stained paper. It's really lovely. I love it. And I'm so grateful to you, Miranda. Thank you very, very much indeed. I think that is all my thank yous. No, how can I forget this? Nancy has bestowed upon me the European mountain of double-sided tape and, you know, the foam tape. There's just loads of it, Nancy. Thank you so very, very much. I'm very grateful. I don't know if I will live long enough to use it all, but I'm very grateful to you. I have already used some. Look, I used two little bits off there. So I've still got all of this to use before I start on the other 10,000 things that you sent me. I'm so grateful to you, Nancy. You're such a star. Thank you very much indeed. She also sent me this pack of stamps here, which I've been using actually. These are great. They're just the right size for going on the back of journaling cards and tags, etc. And I really, you know, I could have used them, and I can use them, and I have been using them, as you can see. So I'm very grateful to you, Nancy. You're very kind, honestly. Could you, are the things from Nancy in that cabinet over there? Yeah, well, this is some of the things from Nancy. Ooh, look, coffee. Wow. That's happening early on. I don't think Mr. F can carry them all, actually. Thank you. So these are just some, okay? There's other sheets with them on, but these are just some. I mean, you can see that's 3 lots of foamy stuff. And then in here, these are all different widths of double-sided. There's some Scotch adhesive dots in there to give you just a little bit of dimension. Another pack there of, I think they're Sizzix. Yeah, they're Sizzix foam squares. Nancy, thank you. Thank you, my love. I am really, really grateful. I keep saying that, and it sounds like I'm just trotting it out. But I really am thankful and appreciative of the gifts that you send me. Thank you very much indeed. So let's get on and earn my keep then. This is where we got to last time with our writing envelope. Thanks for the brew, by the way.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. So let's see where we're up to. Goodness, I have double-side printed this piece of paper. This is the 160 grams. If you've seen all the stuff I've been putting up on Instagram this week, I was using a pearlescent paper, and the person responsible for that is Janet Ann Rosier, who sent me some as a gift. You sent me 6 sheets, 3, I think I showed you them last time, 3 pearlized sort of cream and 3 white, and I put them through the printer and I absolutely adored them. So I've been on to Paper Mill Direct and I've ordered quite a bit. And the writing pouch that I made through the week that sold yesterday was made with that pearlized paper. It's quite a bit more expensive than the ordinary paper that I use. So unfortunately the finished item had to be more expensive, but the results that you get, they're gorgeous. However, for this we're just using the stuff I normally use, the 160 Ray paper that I showed you last week. Right, so the choice we've got with this is, do we use the blue for the inside, when it folds open like that, or do we use the beige? Now it goes equally well, because this is beige. If I remove that, you'll see. That's the beige one, and this is blue, obviously. So I can do it either way, I think, and get away with it. I might have the beige inside, actually. I quite like that. Yeah, I'll go with the beige. I'm going to leave these out because they're just going to get in our way as we're flippy-flopping stuff around. Right, this has got, these papers are from chapter 1, as I've said, and she's actually written it onto the paper, which is slightly annoying, but it doesn't matter because we've got to cut a bit off anyway. Now for these bits that fold in, I haven't got a finished one here to show you because they're all sold. But if you can remember, there's 2 bits that fold in on each other, 2 flaps, and I just want to avoid that bit that says chapter 1. So I'm just going to size it up here with the finished piece. So whatever size yours is, we now want to cut the sides, the flaps, about a good 1/8 in from the bottom and the same at the top. Because if you cut it the same size, by the time the top folds over and the bottom folds up, these end up getting a bit dog-eared looking. So cut them just a little bit shorter than the height of that. So let's cut them off to start with. Let's make a start on cutting some paper, guys, because that's what it's all about. I'm curious to know how those of you who've bought quilting rulers are finding them. Are you finding that they're making your work more exact, or are you not getting on with them at all? I don't think I could do this without my quilting ruler. I really depend on it to let me know where square is. So just get that mark lined up and then make sure it's straight along that edge, and then you can't really, hopefully, go wrong. Right, so I'm going to use the beige for the inside. So what I want to do is just mark here where I need this to fold. So if you can see, this is the width here. This is the page that I'm going to go with on top. Actually, what I'm going to do is cut this in half first, right down there. I'm going to be brave and cut it in half. So what does it measure? It measures 8 1/4. So let's make a mark at 4 1/4, and that's going to be where I cut it.
Jean says she's loving the quilting ruler, but the secret seems to be the cutter that goes with it. Like,
yeah,
if you don't have a rotary cutter, then it's
yeah.
You need the 3 together: the cutting board, the quilting ruler, and the rotary cutter.
I mean, I've got a gorgeous Mr. F bought me this not long ago. It's a professional quality, surgeon's scalpel. It's really lovely. It's metal. It's really nice, and it's perfect for cutting things. But if I used it all the time with my quilting rulers, I know I would have gouges down the side of there, and it would ruin it. Actually, this is so old, it's got gouges anyway from the rotary cutter. But yeah, the rotary cutter is the sort of trilogy that goes together: the cutting board, the quilting ruler, and the rotary cutter. And with those three things, you should be good to go. 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4.
Jean and Roz said they both love the quilting rulers, but it did take a while to get used to.
Yeah, I suspect it will. I mean, and
Kerry Roberts says the same.
yeah. The thing is that even using a quilting ruler, etc., you can still, unless you're actually looking at it from right on top, if you're looking from sideways on, you can get it off, and just being off a tiny bit makes a difference. So yeah, I appreciate what you're saying, girls. It does take a little while to get used to.
And Mabel's joined us.
Hello, Mabel. Thank you so very, very, very much for everything that you sent me. I've just been through it there with everybody, and I'm so grateful to you, Mabel. That doesn't look like it's in half. That's not in half. That's not very helpful.
Janet Ann says the rulers are fine, she just can't get on with the rotary cutter.
Perseverance, my dear, you'll manage. Well, I've cut this piece of paper supposedly in half, and it's not. Oh dear, so let's see. Is that going to work? Oh, sorry, my ruler's dropped on the floor. Let's see if we can make this work or not. So that measures 7 3/4. So what's half of 7 3/4? 3 1/2 and 3. 3 7/8?
Yes.
Right, so that's there then. That's right on that line there. So have I got enough? That line. Yeah, I've got enough to meet there and still have a bit folded back. And I've got enough for there. Ooh, I haven't got... That's never right. What's going on today? What on earth are you playing at? 6 3/4. Yeah,
6 3/4.
I told you 7 3/4.
You did.
6 3/4 is 3 3/8. Is that right?
Yes.
Hallelujah. 3 3/8, which is there. That one, that mark there. Let's see.
Quilting rulers, who'd have them, eh?
Who'd have them? Right, so if I get that to there, I've still got enough to fold over the back. Great. And I get that to there, I've got more than enough. So yeah, although all my measurements were completely up to spout, it's still going to work.
Jen says too many scones and clotted cream.
I know, I've clotted my brain up. Oh, you know when you get one of those days and it just doesn't go right. I think today's going to be one of those days, so bear with, guys. That's all I can say. Right, so I'm going to that line there and I'm going to mark where I want to fold this over. So right on the edge there, and this one. I can't believe I've measured 3 things and 2 of them were wrong. Oh dear. I would have cried if that wasn't right, because I didn't have a backup piece of paper that was double-sided printed. But you know, eh? Funny old game, this life, isn't it? Right, so let's score at those lines then that we...
Mabel says the inner fabric of that roll-up is dyed.
Yeah, so I thought that. Yeah, I thought that. It's beautiful. I mean, it's really lovely. You're going to have to go back to the start, Mabel, and hear me extolling your virtues. I'm so delighted with everything that you sent me. Delighted. Right, that's just not quite on a mark, so I'm just going to have to bring it off there a bit. So I'm creasing. When you're creasing using a scoring board, and I'm sure you all know this, if you use it, this came with it to do the creasing business, and you fine like that, you fine, but when you get to the end, don't keep putting as much pressure on because you'll tear your paper because there's nothing to support it. So when you come to the end, just lie it down a little bit like that, so you're still creasing it, but you're not getting that direct pressure. I'm sure you all know that, but I have torn so many bits of paper in my time, as I'm sure you can guess. So I'll just crease that in and put a crease on this one. Is that going to be right? No. So the thing about these boards, it's got to be right in one of the marks, hasn't it? Otherwise it doesn't work properly. Let me give that a try there. Right. See if this looks anything like right. That'd be a miracle, wouldn't it? I know I might have said the other side, and it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying it for size. I do want there to be a bit of a gap between them, otherwise you can't pick them up. So I'm looking for a little gap, and if that happens, I'll be pleased. Oh yes, look at that. That's fine. Maybe could do a slightly less gap than that. That's a bit. Yeah, this one I think is kind of not quite right. So I'm just going to move it one across. You right there?
Mm-hmm. Just wondering why you were using your scoring cutter.
Because when I'm doing lives, I think it's easier for people to see. Because I'm guessing that most people haven't got scoring. So this is just a bit awkward now because I've got two lines next to each other, but it'll be fine. It'll all be all right. Right, so let's try that and see where we're at. That's going to go underneath there. That's going to go underneath. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's fine. That is an acceptable gap. Because as I say, I do want there to be a gap because otherwise you can't get in and open them up. Right, so who was listening? What did I say I was going to have on the inside? Was I going to have blue or was I going to have beige? Can anybody tell me, please, what I said? I kind of like the way that blue looks, I must be honest. Was anybody listening? I can't remember. Were you listening, Mr. F? No.
No.
Fair enough. Can't expect miracles.
I could have just said beige or blue.
You could, yeah, you didn't have to be quite so honest. I quite like the way that looks though, don't you?
I do.
And when you fold that over, yeah, I tend not to put too much on there, but I've decided today to put one of these
People
down.
are saying beige, beige and beige and beige.
Beige and beige and beige.
You must have said beige.
Must have said beige. Let's turn it over then. So once you've got your crease in, it's, you know, it doesn't really matter which way it's in, that's great. Right, so this is going to be the outside. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I like that. And this, let's fold this over again. Okay, so this is how it's going to look once it's attached. Yeah, fine. And then when you open it, that's how it's going to look.
Yeah, I like it that way better.
You like it that way better. Excellent. Right, so that's fine. So the next thing we've got to do is down this side, it gets a really long, large pocket. So then we have to decide the paper that we're going to put on there. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to put these 2 strips on.
Shaz says hi.
Hi, Shaz.
Samantha C says hi.
Hi, Samantha. Nice to have you with us, really is. I've you know what? I'm just going to ink this. I've cut it, so I'm going to ink it.
Flo Cinderella says mind the gap.
Yeah, mind that gap. Looks like it's a bit of a movable feast. That is where you can go wrong, actually. And it's so noticeable. Anybody that sews will sort of know what I'm talking about. It just... But I do want a gap in this. This is the problem. So I'll go around there. And I also want to snip off from where I've bent it, from where it's creased. Just snip off a little bee like that. Because when you come to stick it on the back, it'll be annoying. You'll see it more than likely. You don't want that. So I'll just ink the other side. I must say I absolutely adore this Tattered Rose ink. For these sort of shabby type projects, it's absolutely perfect. I'm just going to bend this crease back a little bit. It's been bent backwards and forwards so often, poor thing. And put quite a bit of ink in there. Oh, that's lovely, lovely. So, which line are we going up to with this? Must be that one. If you take care, you'll end up with a, you know, they'll be the same on both sides. That's a longer flap than this, but you know, what the heck, who's going to know that? It's all going to be covered up.
The flap police.
Yeah, the flap police will know. And it's not like me to fall short of my very best. But in this instance, honestly, nobody will know. It's going on the back, covered up with another sheet of paper. So...
Apart from everybody that's watching, of course.
Apart from everyone that's watching. But even you won't know when I put the other bit of paper on. You'll think, oh, has she used another bit of paper? One that's equal on both sides. Well, we're being spoilt at the moment. As you know, we're quite cricketaholics in this house. And I don't know where my eraser is. Here it is. Let's do away with that line, which was a liar in the first place. It was in the wrong place. And we're being spoiled at the minute because there's cricket on every day, twice on Saturday and twice on Sunday. And because I do live both of those days, that means that kind of got to stay up all night, really. No, it doesn't. It just means we record them and watch them in the morning, which is really rather nice. I'm sorry you're spending ages watching me ink, but I thought it was important that you watched me cut the flaps, and now I've made a right hash of that, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Is that right? Or is it that one? Yeah, it's that one. Ooh, that was nearly a bit of a mess. You know, when you watch people, other people than me, and they're doing videos of whatever it is they're doing with junk journaling, and you can see that a mistake is about to happen. You can just see it, and then you can sense it in their voice that they're thinking, "Oh no, I mucked this up." And then before your very eyes, the video just cuts out and it starts again, like it never happened. Well, they are lucky, because I'm doing this live. And so things that go wrong, you all get to see it.
But you get to see how you put it right.
Yeah, you get to see how I put it right. So there we are. We've got our 2 bits. Excellent. They are the ones. They're the ones that are going in, aren't they? I'm bamboozling myself. They're the ones that are going in like that. Right. So lovely. It's looking nice already, actually, despite the faux pas. Right. So I want a bit of paper to go down here. That's going to be a pocket. So let's have a look at what I've got printed out. Just have to move my iPad because I just knocked it for 6. Hi, Nathania. You think it's better like this? I know it probably is, but I don't know if it's better for my nerves. Because every time I do make a mistake, I think, oh no, everybody think I'm so stupid. I mean, you're right, you know.
Ross says, at least you show them how to mix the mistakes. Yeah, that's how we plan it out. We have a list of mistakes and we mix them up and just do the same live with the same mistakes. We've just mixed them up.
Look, I make mistakes. I'm human, okay? You know what I mean? I'll tell you when it really comes to the fore, how many mistakes. Hang on a sec. That's a nice cup of coffee today, thank you. How many mistakes I make is when we do actually do a video. And there's so many stops and starts in it, isn't there? And yeah, there is when I do a long one.
Not really. It's usually 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But it's usually either a cough or a sneeze.
Or a swear word.
Or Bob going off on one. Or me going off on one.
Well, you're being very kind. Look, I could use that pink. That's pretty, isn't it? I've lost the whole flipping thing now. Oh, for heaven's sake. Have you seen it? Oh, yeah. Here it is. Right, so that would look like that. I don't know if that pink's right, to be honest. I think I probably need a bit of blue. A bit of blue. So I've got this blue patchwork from the Shabby Patchwork kit.
Joe Ray says, we think you are brilliant.
Oh, that's so nice. You know when you get a day when everything's going wrong and somebody says something like that to you, it's just, thank you.
Jen Sinclair said she would love to see the outtakes of those Fiona swearing.
No, you would be so offended because Hilda'll tell you I really do swear. Don't I, Hilda? I've got that's in blue. I've got that. Yeah, no, that's not blue. That's probably about all I've got that's kind of suitable. Right, so let's have a bit of an audition here. So that's the thing and that's the thing. Right, okay.
And Nancy's joined us.
Nancy, you've got to watch it from the beginning again, girl, because I was showing everybody a portion of what you'd sent me, and I'm so grateful to you. I mean, I hope I expressed it in a message, but it's almost, you know, you end up saying thank you, and it sounds so trite, and I don't mean it to be. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you for everyone. And Mr. Fix-It's very grateful to Nancy too.
I'd just like to say that this week's episode of Snacking Live with Mr. F comes courtesy of Fancy Nancy from Colorado.
Yay! Well done, Fancy Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy.
Oh, you should have seen his face when that came. You should have done. He was so delighted. So thank you, Nancy. That's kept him off the streets. Well, the promise of eating it. Right, look, come on, guys. Honestly, this is silly. I've got that. That would look nice. It marries in with that. And I could cut that bit down there for the pocket so I'd get the flowers in. I've got blue. Same sort of thing, but blue. That's quite nice. I've got that. Right, look. A, B, C. Come on. Which one? A, B or C? Come on. Give us your answer. Hilda Davidson, her lips are zipped. I think that's about the swearing. I've got a potty mouth. You're in good company. Shaz, have you really? I did not know that.
I bet it's posh swearing though.
For Shaz?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say something I would regret that. Right. B, C, A, B, B, C, A, B. Middle one. Do a pattern. B, B, A, B. B has it. B has it, guys. B is the victor. Right. Stop now. This has just confused me.
Flo says, no, wait, C.
Swearing with style. Yes. Right. This is sort of one of these ones that's kind of pre-inked, which I'm not awfully fond of, I'll be honest with you. So I'm just going to bring that in inside that pre-inked place there and mark where I want to cut it. So I want to cut it there and there and there and there. And I want it, well, I'll cut that off first, then I'll work out. Don't do too many things at once because, you know, it's just no good. So line my marks up and then I can't go wrong, can I? Because I'm not measuring anything. That's where I'm going wrong. I think it's the measuring today. It's all too much for my tiny little mind. Alright, so I'll cut these off at the measurements, at the mark. Well, a word if I could see a mark. Oh, come on. There's a mark.
Flo says she's got a terrible potty mouth.
Have you, Flo?
Her father was a fisherman and she learned from a master.
Yeah.
It's not posh.
My dad was good at swearing. I mean, he didn't say anything horrendous. He used to say bloody, hell and bugger. That was the extent of his swearing. But my mother was appalled by it. Absolutely appalled. The worst thing my mum used to say things like, I'm trying to think what she might have said. She just didn't swear. She just couldn't abide it. She was embarrassed continually by my dad, who used to swear quite a bit. But, never in the company of the vicar or anything. So it wasn't that bad. Right, so that should fit in there, which it doesn't. It's just a bit too long. It's just marginally too long. So I want that just inside that line there. So I'm just going to have to cut a little bit off. Honestly, it's like the blinking, I don't know what you call people who continually get things wrong, but it's like one of those shows today. It's like nothing's going to get right. Yeah. My dad, on one occasion, my mum and dad used to fight like cat and dog all the time. Absolutely adored each other, but they fought continually. And my dad, at one stage, told my mum to do something off. And she was telling me because she was so dreadfully upset by the whole thing. And she said, he told me to P-I-S or P-I-S-S off. I don't know how you spell it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, poor mum. So yeah, I take after them and I don't swear at all. Right, this is a long side pocket, getting back to the point in hand. And I'm going to make it about there, I think. For no other reason than it looks about right. So that is, it's 2 inches, let's say, for sake of ease. So 2 inches in from that edge. Sorry if I offended anyone. I really am. I don't wish to offend you. No, I was gonna... Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all pointless. Right, this should be it. This should be our pocket. And it should be slightly... not quite as tall as the thing that we're doing it in. And when we stick it down, we want to leave... No, that's the wrong way around, silly girl. That's the bit that gets attached to the book. It's going well so far. When we stick it down, or sew it down, or whatever it is you decide to do, you want to leave a little margin from where that creases over to where this starts, because otherwise it won't lie flat properly. So there's just a little margin there. I'd say it's probably 1/8 of an inch, something like that. So I've cut this, so I'm going to ink it. My husband is a preacher. You have to curse when he isn't around. Oh dear me.
Shaz says something funny.
Shaz says, my mum sent me to elocution lessons, so at least I pronounce the swear words properly.
That's funny.
That's one of the funniest things ever. Oh dear. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Pretty much, you know, apart from the swearing, which I really try not to do when I'm doing a live, but apart from that, pretty much what you see with me is what I am, and with Mr. F. Hilda's met us. I'm sure she can tell you that this is pretty much us. We don't really have airs and graces or anything. We just kind of get on. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, because I've got a little bit of lace on here, along here, I don't want that to be stranded, just to sort of, you know, one thing that on its own. So I'm going to put a bit of lace down this leading edge of this pocket here. And I'm going to use the same lace, if I can find it. Here we go. And now that I am absolutely replete with double-sided, I'm going to use double-sided for it. So, it feels like everybody's gone really quiet. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I've offended everyone. Have I? Does anybody say they're offended?
No.
That's good. Right, let's just square these ends up.
Maybe silently appalled, of course.
Yeah, no, that's true. The figure's dropped off. Maybe appalled by my work today. It's not flowing well, is it?
Nancy says she can curse in 2 languages and she gets tongue-tied.
I can't. That would be fun, wouldn't it? To be able to curse. I bet Hilda can as well, actually, because she speaks a couple of languages. Yeah, well done, Nancy. It's probably best that you do get tongue-tied, really, otherwise who knows what would come out. Right, so there we are. I've got a little bit of lace. It's taken us quite a long time to get to this stage, but never mind, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it, really? Right, so that needs to get temporarily affixed to there, and I'll leave it till it dries and then I'll sew around it. All I'm going to do is attach the top and the bottom. I don't really need to put glue down there and put that through my sewing machine. So I'm just going to attach the top and the bottom with a little bit of Aleene's. and then I can stitch around it. Where are my wipes here? I've been specially drying wipes. How mad is that? Right, so as I say, make sure that you're not right. Ooh, hello. You're not right up to the line there, because it needs some bending room. Right, so one of my nice clean wipes. These are fabulous. You really got to try them. What a brilliant tip from Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah. Brilliant. I don't know if she got it from somebody else. You know, it was her I heard it from. And they just seem to absorb the glue. You know, instead of it making a mark on your paper where it splodges out of whatever it is you're doing. Right, so that's that side. Pretty much. I mean, we're going to sew around it, obviously. So let's move on to the other side. Let's just have a little look at that, see what it looks like. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Excellent. So onto the other side. Anybody know where that went? Oh, come on. No, it's... Oh, come on.
What have you lost?
I've lost the other one of these. Can you see it anywhere?
It must be there.
I know, but where? I'm glad that this is flowing so well for you today, guys. Just when you thought things couldn't get worse, I've lost half the stuff.
Can't be that deep down, surely.
Oh, you'd think not, but I'm just checking, seeing if I'm here. No. Ah, right on the bottom. Look at that. How did it get there? Okay, so marvellous. Right, so this is the other side of the thing. Thanks for your help, Mr. F.
You're welcome.
Thanks. So this is going to be the other side, right? Just so we're all clear what's not sort of happening. And what I've got for here is something I have pre-prepared. Come on. I've got two of these little, they were in the kit. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they're supposed to be or anything. But they look to me like just tiny little belly bands. And I've got a couple of journaling cards here that I have already sewn round and backed with coffee stained paper. So what I was thinking was I could use them kind of like belly bands and put them down there, and then I could slide that into there. You get the gist? What do you think? Do you think that's all right? I quite like it. It's quite pretty. Don't have a problem with it. Right, so now we're going to have to do a bit of measuring. I'm going to put these aside there, right in front of me. I can't lose them there, surely. So let's say that I put them in 3/4 of an inch from the top. Well, I need to find the middle first. Oh, come on, for heaven's sake. I'm making myself sick today. Let's find the middle of this bit. This is some nice figure like 3 3/8. Excellent. So the centre of that then is 1.5 plus 1 5/8 plus a little bit. Right, okay. So there, just over 1 5/8. So that's going to be the middle of that. But I want to bring it up a little bit. I'll bring it up an inch. And that down an inch. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So let's put a mark an inch up, 1 5/8 and a little bit. This is exact stuff. So that's going to be the bottom of there, like that. And then I'll turn it round and mark 1 5/8, an inch up from the bottom. Hope you're following this exact science here. and 1 5/8 and a little bit in there. So that goes there like that, and that'll go there like that. What do you reckon? They look all right? Yeah? Yeah, I think they're all right. So now I just need to get my ruler and see where this needs to be. That needs to be there. So let's just see where my ruler is. There. It'd be easier if I had whole inches, I think. As everybody turned off, walked away in disappointment at me.
No, they're all getting coffee.
Ah, that's the same thing. That's the same thing. They're all just terribly disappointed. Right, so that's where these are going to get stuck. Like so. It's just dawned on me, is there an up and a down? I don't think so. Oh, that's up if anything. So right, so all I'm going to do is put the merest drop of glue that I think I can get away with, and I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because my journaling cards are quite a tight fit. I'm going to leave that there. That's 1.25 inches, so that's where they're going to butt up to. I've got a tiny little mark at the bottom, so I'm just going to put the smallest bit of Fabri-Tac that I think I can actually glue these with. And I'm using Fabri-Tac because it's stronger. So hold that still, put that there, put that up against the edge of the ruler, and Bob's your uncle, Jean.
Robert's your relative.
And apparently, no, let's not go this route again, but apparently Fanny is your aunt. Right, so hopefully that's going to stay on there. Same business with this, 1.25 inches. Tiring myself out today. It's stressful. Oh, I've got a Nobble McBobble in there that I don't want.
Nobble McBobble.
A Nobble McBobble, yeah. Well, people call them goobers and things like that, and it sounds disgusting. So I've just got a Nobble McBobble. Right, so I'm holding on to that. I'm putting that on my mark. I'm butting this up against my quilting ruler, which I'm holding. I've got 100 hands at the moment, all doing sterling work. Lovely. Right, so hopefully that's going to dry like that. Right, so I can actually sew around the outside of this because there's nothing drying there. It's on the inside. So if the Fabri-Tac's probably dry by now anyway. So I'm going to pop over to my sewing machine. Mr. F's just sneaked off to watch cricket.
I was just thinking I could record it earlier rather than later, but I can't.
All right, okay.
So you're going sewing?
I'm going sewing, yeah. And I'm just going to sew around all around here, this piece here. I'm going to start at the bottom there. Just a straight stitch. You can use any stitch you want. I finally learned how to tie my ends off with my sewing machine. After about, I don't know how many years I've had this, but I finally learned how to. I wonder if any of you will actually make this, or just watch me struggle for a laugh. What do you think, Mr. F? Do you think we'll make it?
I'm sure some may.
Some
I would like to put a figure on it.
one, if we're lucky.
Miranda wants to know what the bell's for.
You have to go into that, Mr.
Coffee, please.
That's it, exactly. Wherever he is in the house, he can hear that. And of course, he comes running. What can I do for you, darling?
Jean says she's going to make one.
Hiya, Jean. Oh, that's great.
Ross says she'd like to make it.
Oh, brilliant. Because sometimes I feel like I'm just...
And Nancy says, watch you struggle and then make it.
Yeah, this is the third or fourth, I think, of these that I've made. As you can see, it's getting much easier. But then again, no. So I'm going to use my little bone folder and just...
Mike says, don't get any ideas, Jen. No bell for you.
Oh, they're great, Jen. They're really great. I mean, you have to have the trained hubby to go with it, admittedly. And I don't overuse it. You see, I don't overuse it.
It's not like she only has one bell.
No, I have several wherever I am. I have a bell. So that's that. That looks nice, doesn't it? I think. And on this side, I'm going to put... Well, let me sew around this first, as we're getting ahead of ourselves. So I'm going to sew around this, including this bit here that we haven't glued down. So all the way around that. Right? Off I go. That glue should be dry now, so it shouldn't really do any damage to my machine. I'll just need to just arrange that a bit better, like that. I really do think these would make fabulous presents for people at Christmas, if you felt so inclined. And really kind of once you get the hang of what you're doing, says she, but they're not difficult, there's nothing difficult about them. I'm making this seem very difficult, but it's not. And then down this edge where I'm sewing my pocket on as I go. Okay, let's see where we're at now then. Get these ends off. Use my bone folder to squash them into the flat, or a bit flatter anyway. Right, then, that's a bit of a... As my mother would say, that's a bit of a red up. I'm just going to put the tiniest little drop of glue on that, as I don't trust my machine when it says it ties things off. And I can't bear the thought of it unravelling. Right then, so what I want to do now, that's that side, is just knock the corners off those. And even although we've just sewn it, there's still plenty of room just to take that little bit of corner off.
Jen says the sound of her machine is so soothing.
Sound of my machine?
Which says her machine.
Oh, her.
But all of them, aren't they? They're very rhythmic.
Yeah, they are. They're lovely. Wonderful things. And I'd like to say it takes me back to my mother, but my mother had no handicraft or art in her at all. She was a very practical woman. You know, she'd ask her to wash or iron or anything like that. Yeah, that was fine. But her idea of art was colouring in and staying between the lines. And that was how I grew up. That you stayed between the lines. I have found other ways of doing things now. Right, so that's that then. Making progress. Let's just make sure everything fits where it should before we stick it down. Right, so here I have some pre-made tags, journal cards for in here. Look at that.
Shaz would like to know where your mother was from.
She was from Dumfries and Galloway, which is kind of the first county into Scotland if you go from here, on the west side. So that's that. 3 nice journaling cards in there. All's well so far. Let's see if these fit in under here. Oh, yes. And does this one? Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. I'm getting quite excited because it's actually working. Right, the only other thing I want to do before I do that is take them out because I don't want that. And I just want it to be as flat as I can possibly get it for the moment, because I want to... these come with the kit as well. Well, there's 3 in all honesty, I'm using 3 kits here. I'm using all from chapter 1, and I'm using Shabby Patchwork, I'm using Sugared Almonds, and I'm using Strawberry Garden, I think it's called, and I'm kind of picking bits from all of them. But I think that this would look quite nice. I think it's been made to be a belly band, but I think it would look quite nice up there. Just take the plainness off that, perhaps. What do you think? What do you think, Mr. F? Yeah or nay?
Yay.
Yay, okay. Well, we've cut it then, so guess what?
You cut it, you ink it.
Rule
number 1.
Rule number 1. I have got smaller ones. I've got this size.
Sorry, what purpose are these serving?
Decorative only.
Decorative only, then I would say the smaller one.
Yeah, I like the small one too. I'll keep those in abeyance. Yeah, I like the smaller one too. Right, okay, let's get it inked up.
And Shaz says, gosh, who influenced you into art?
I don't know, it's just always there. Not at school. I hated art at school. But as I sort of got older, I developed this appreciation of art, I suppose. And then when you develop the appreciation of it, you want to have a go yourself and see what you can do, and you know how to try and do what you're looking at when you go to a gallery. So I just started messing around, really. Then I got very sidetracked with textiles for a long time. Sort of art textiles, really. And that was what I did my second degree in. And then by the time I'd finished that, I'd had enough of textiles. It really sort of sickened me of textiles, to be honest. And so I just got into straight up painting, really, which I still love. It's very, very, very therapeutic. I love it. Right, so they're just going to go there for no other purpose than they're going to look pretty, and I want them opposite ways up. Do I? Yes. Yes, I believe I do. Right, okay, more blooming measuring now. So, it's not going to be much help, is it? So this measures in its entirety, in its height. It measures 10¼ inches. So half of that, I think you could safely say, is 5 1/8, which is there. Right. And half of this is 6 1/2, so 3 1/4 then. So there. Right, so I'm just giving myself a bit of a head start here.
Jean would like to know if you ever designed your own fabric.
Yeah, lots of times. Loads of times. And had them made up by a company in here called Spoonflower, who make your own designs up into fabric. Yeah, absolutely. I'll put the mark on that side, so I'm going to make it here. So I'm going to bring this in. It's hard to see because I'm on the wrong side. Going to bring it in 3/4 inch. I think that's enough. You know, yeah, I think that's enough. And I'm going to get the half of the thing on the half of the thing and butt it up to that ruler there at 3/4 inch. If it was square, it would be so much better. You people that, you know, have got straight eyes in your head, I'm not one of them. It must be so easy for you because you just do something and you put it down and it's straight. I can't take that chance. And I have to know it's going to be exactly straight, otherwise I can't live with it. Funnily enough, I was just talking to Shaz about this the other night. And saying, you know, the many things. I think it was Jean that was asking when do you know that you've just got to bin whatever you're doing, it's just not up to speed. And I was saying to Shaz, I can't live with things that aren't right. I'd rather bin it because I just can't live with it. So that goes there. Lovely, lovely jubbly.
Jean says you have a good eye for context and placement.
Oh, thanks, Jean. Thank you very much. Is that level, do you think? 3/4, yeah, that's straight as you like. So let's do the same on to the side. I've forgotten what it measures. 10 1/4, right, so 3/4 inch in. I need 5 1/8 marked. I must say, when I watch people, and I'm going to say Artie Mays, because she's the one I probably watch the most. I watch her do things and I just wish I could do it. So I want that coming up there like that. So my middle mark there. She does beautiful sort of, they are junk journals, but they're really art journals. They're gorgeous. And I'd love, love, love to be able to do that like she does. But I just can't. Is that right? Is that right? Which way's up? Like that. I'm sorry I'm faffing today, guys. Welcome to my world. That doesn't have an up and a down, see? Yeah, that's right there.
Nancy would like to know what the length of the ruler you are using.
12.5.
That one's 12.5 by 6.5.
By 6.5, yeah. And it really is an ancient old girl, I can tell you. I'm struggling actually to see the marks on it because it's so old. And it's all chipped down the side as well from when I wasn't so experienced with a rotary cutter, and I've taken chunks out of it. So I do need to actually get a new 6.5 one, which I will do when I'm ready to say goodbye to this one. We've got loads and loads of quilting rulers, all, I'm sure Mabel and Flo are probably the same, different angles and, you know, Dresden plate and all that sort of thing, from when I used to do a lot of quilting. So I'm going to line my marks up, make sure I've lined it up with this ruler that's at 3/4 of an inch. And then hopefully, whose idea is it to add this bit of thing? It's all about nothing anyway, really. Anyway, that's it. Looks nice. I'm glad we added it. Just do that. Right, so when it shuts, that's what it'll look like. So that's much nicer, isn't it? Oh, I haven't put any ink down this side here. Half a job. Half a job. This will be on the outside as well, so it needs to be inked. Okay. And I haven't pushed my stitches through either. Right, so let's see if we can get this attached to this thing. Here it is. So, bearing in mind that we left a little bit of space top and bottom for this to, you know, when we've got the flaps coming up and down, so you need to stick it with that in mind. And we also want to stick it, because even now we've got a little bit of depth here. You know, when that comes over, if you stick it tight up, it's going to stay like that. And that's not what you want. So you're going to have to move it over a little bit to give it room to flop over that. But it's very tempting to just allow a little bit of space down here at the bottom and put the top tight in, because the top will fold, no problem. But you mustn't do that, because then when you fold them together, they won't be parallel. So make sure that you stick that in with an even margin, that's what I'm saying, and allow yourself a fair bit of a margin, more than you might think you need. I think that's 1/8 of an inch. I shall tell you now in a sec. Yeah, it is. It's exactly 1/8 of an inch. So allow yourself 1/8 of an inch up there to glue it. And here we go. Let's go gluing. I could put a bit of double-sided on, but it doesn't really need it, because it's going to have paper, a sheet of paper over the back anyway, which will hold everything hopefully in place. So don't forget to leave your 8 inches, good lord, 1/8 of an inch margin. Okay, so here we go. And leave it a little bit up from the bottom. Try and get it fairly equal from the top to the bottom. Leave your gap there. There we are. I think I'm quite happy with that. Let's have a look. I think that's all right. I can't really leave much more of a gap, and I think it'll be okay. I've probably left a bit more at the bottom than the top, but that's fine, because we've got flippy flappies going everywhere, so we'll be okay. Let's just stick that down as best as we possibly can. Lovely. So now move on to the other one. Does that actually say 1521?
time.
Yeah.
It does say that, yes.
Where's the time gone then? Do you know?
I shall see if I can find it.
I can't believe that. That's ridiculous.
Like most things that go lost, it's probably on your table somewhere.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great if you could just find a glass of time? Yes, madam? An hourglass or a 2-hour glass? Oh, I'd be greedy. Right, so that's just where the stitches are pretty much. And allow yourself that margin. Like so. I think that's okay, but let's just check that before I do that. I want a little margin there. Right, and that's equal there. So let's just fold that over. Right, before I really crease the life out of it. Yeah, that looks nice. And you can easily get your fingers in there to lift them up. They'll be squashed down a little bit, although they're not too bad. This one's fine. This one's just probably a little bit too far in for its own good. So let's just squash them down. That's that. But as I say, the back piece of paper with a pocket and a journal and everything will cover all of this anyway. So don't be alarmed that it's looking a little bit not right at the moment, because it will be all right on the night. Right, so let's put our little tags and stuff in. I hope that you guys join me again sometime and you haven't been totally appalled by what you've seen today. I'm sorry. We all have good days and bad days. And actually, with regards to journaling, today hasn't been much good really, but I've had a lovely time with you. I really have. Pop that in there. These are lovely kits, aren't they? It's got to be said. They're gorgeous. I'm really glad I bought them because I can see me using them quite a lot. And I mean, the journaling cards are lovely. And that one says strawberry. And that one I've zigzagged around. So there we are. Right, that's it for today. Sorry, guys. Tomorrow, we're really going to get a wriggle on, okay? So get ready for it tomorrow. And we'll do the top flip and hopefully the bottom flip. If I get everything cut out and ready to go, we definitely will do that. But I think it looks pretty. I think we've achieved something quite pretty. Don't you? I hope so anyway. So, flippity flop. Flippity flop. Yep. All right then, guys. Thank you very, very much for joining me once again. I've had a lovely day with you. I've really enjoyed your company today. And I'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. It might run on a little bit tomorrow, I'm just warning you. And I know that Jean and Nancy, I think, go off to church, so I'm sorry about that. You might miss a little bit of it, but it'll always be on video, ready for you to watch whenever you want to. And we'll progress with that. So, thanks, Jen. Donna, I didn't say hello to you, or Michelle for that matter. Thank you, Hilda. Thanks, Mike. It's been wonderful. I hope everyone's I've enjoyed today. Thank you. Thanks, Kerry and Hilda and Roz and Jan and Mabel. You're all so lovely. You're really nice to me. And I'll see you tomorrow at 2. Bye, guys.
Bye.